Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So, Kanye West is our real life Clayton Bigsby. Now, for those of you who watch The Chappelle Show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for those of you who didn't watch The Chappelle Show, perhaps you should watch that sketch, Clayton Bigsby, because you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's funny because, Black Mirror on Netflix is a show where they kind of predict the future, or, with the way how it's like the modern time of Twilight Zone, okay? And Dave Chappelle definitely had a Black Mirror moment with that sketch. You guys should definitely check it out. Anyway, I was right. A few weeks ago, I had a segment where I said that Kanye is trying to create an alliance with white supremacy groups. He's acting the way he's acting because he's trying to run for president. Another reason I think Kanye is doing this is because he wants to appeal to a group of people that do not like Jews and that they might not necessarily like black people either. But for a high profile artist like Kanye West or Ye to say these things about the Jews, he's thinking that they'll think that he's all right. And I think this is all a ploy for him to announce his presidential bid. Now, it was very clear when he wore the White Lives Matter t shirt, that was just, the opener to say, hey, I care about white lives matter. But it became very clear once he started trashing Jewish people. And at first, it wasn't so clear with the tweet because maybe he was just upset. And I, as a fan, a former fan, was hoping that it would blow over. I didn't need an apology or anything like that. I was just thinking, all right, he said what he said. Let's move on, and that's it. He had his moment. But no, he has doubled and tripled down since. And that was a very clear indication because we all knew he wanted to run for president for many reasons. I believe it was on the Joe Rogan podcast when I heard him say that he believes that he's he was chosen by God to be the leader of the free world, ironically. And in 2020, he had like a very short lived presidential campaign, which pretty much ended up in a disaster. But, and of course, he knew by saying white lives matter and then trashing Jewish people would catch the attention of white supremacy groups. Of course it would, right? Because even though he's black and they don't like him, he's a high profile icon. He's an artist. So they'll take it. They'll take it. They'll take his fame, his popularity, his huge platform. They'll take it and they'll take advantage of it and they'll use it. So they're willing to team up with somebody they hate temporarily to accomplish something. And I'll get into that as this segment continues. Um, so, yeah, he announced his presidential bid. Yay24 hashtag Yay24. And it's been really interesting because the way he's doing it, by going to Donald Trump's house and asking him to be his vice president. I mean, wow, and when Trump said that, no, you're going to lose, and Ye was like, since when did that work out for anybody? So he's like dead serious about doing this, okay? Uh, but just when you think that Kanye West will take it too far, he'll continue to surprise us even further and further because he surprised everybody with the DEFCON 3 comments. And then, he just keeps shocking us like with different things that he's saying, with the way he's acting. And, by going to Trump's house with Nick Fuentes, a known Nazi who does not like Jews, who does not like black people, but he's hanging out with them anyway. And, to now being at the Alex Jones podcast and praising Hitler, praising Nazis, that Hitler brought value to society. And it's like, you know, and he's wearing like this weird mask. It looks like the one of those people that was in the Pulp Fiction movie. So everything is just very weird. And it's like, what's he going? Just when you thought he's finished surprising us, right? Like you think it cannot get any worse. It's probably gonna get worse. He's probably definitely going to shock us even more. Okay. And, I gotta say though, this is not just an insult to Jewish people. This is what people don't understand. This is not like, Hitler was responsible for 6 million Jewish people dying, correct? But he also killed other groups, right? He killed his own people. He killed his own people that didn't agree with his ideology. He killed homosexual people. He killed gypsy people. He killed Slavic people, um, Eastern Europeans. Uh, and he's definitely no friend to black people. Okay, he believes that the Aryan race is the superior race, and that's that. Um, so this is also an insult to those who fought in the war, right? To like our American troops that went and risked their lives for the free to because listen, Hitler wasn't going to stop. He was going to continue, and if he defeated England and the Soviet Union, the United States would clearly be next because he had to be the top dog in the whole world. So they went out there and they fought and died horrific deaths for our freedom. And it wasn't just the American soldiers, right? It was soldiers from all around the world. So to spit in the face and an insult to those who went out there to defeat Hitler, to defeat the Nazis, and then just to sit there and to praise Hitler for Kanye West, to praise Hitler and the Nazis, that's a big spit in the face. Um, so yeah, I'm starting. Yeah, I already said that I'm starting to wonder what he's going to do next. And who would have thought that the next wannabe Hitler would be Kanye West, right? Who would have thought that Dave Chappelle's sketch would have been one hell of a prediction? And if you folks thought with all our events in the past 10 years that we're living in the twilight zone, well, guess a bit, we're definitely here now, right? Um, so Nick Fuentes is a huge, Nazi. He does not like Jewish people. He does not like black people. He's a white supremacist, and of course he's going to team up with somebody like Kanye. And this is what I said before. Now I'm elaborating on it more further. He's going to team up with somebody like Kanye West because Kanye West, even though he's black, has a huge platform. Okay, they can reach millions of people, and sadly, it's kind of working. You should read some of the comments that people are writing on social media platforms defending Kanye West, right? And so the another thing with Kanye West is uh, people like Nick Fuentes and Nazis would often dog whistle. Kanye West is just straight up. There's no filter. He's just saying everything he wants to say, and this is like a dream come true for them. All right, to have a high-profile artist saying exactly what they want to say and delivering it on a massive scale because Nazis are not exactly the most popular people in the country, and they've been blacklisted, silenced uh, for their hate. So of course they're going to want to team up with Kanye West. Kanye didn't just lose his mind; he lost his soul. All right, and he's fully aware of what he's doing. He's trying to appeal to a crowd, and he's doing this to run for president. And what does he think he's going to do? To convince Nazis to love black people? Does he believe that he's the next Daryl Davis? Because I'll tell you this, what Daryl Davis did was incredible, and he definitely didn't do it in the expense of Jewish people. All right? He did it through patience, communication, kindness, friendship. Okay? And he got what, over 200 people to leave the Ku Klux Klan. Um, and Daryl Davis didn't spew hate, okay? So Kanye has definitely gone down a very, very dark path, and he lost himself. I've seen a disturbing video recently where white supremacists and black supremacists were on a video chat basically creating an alliance, saying that they had no problems with one another and that all their issues toward one another was fabricated, by the mainstream media. And they have no problems with one another. Okay, they should help each other, and they should help each other to defeat the common enemy, which is the which are the Jews. Um, Jew hatred was always so strong, but now it's also very, very strange. And what do these black supremacists think? That these white supremacists have their best interests at heart? They even said, right? One of the white supremacists was saying in the video, like, you know, right now, for right now, we need to team up and to destroy the common enemy, and then we'll figure out everything later. What does that mean, right? I mean, think about it. In the United States, what is the percentage of the black population? A little bit over 13%. So what? Do they think that if they accomplish their mission, the black supremacists, do they think that once they accomplish their mission, they'll live happily ever after side by side with the Nazis?
I am a white supremacist, okay? I'm identified as a neo-Nazi.
This guy is a Nazi who uses the N-word.
So what?
Man, listen. What I'm saying is this. Who he is, you see who his energy is rooted at attacking. I don't think this man want to exterminate black people or nothing.
I don't.
Right. You look at what he's saying. Like, yeah, go ahead.
Here we go. Here's the media. All the people that are pushing all this stuff on our kids, right? 96% of America's media is owned by Jews. Keep in mind, when you call me, a Nazi or whatever, you got to realize that Hitler worked with Africans, he worked with Japanese, and he worked with Indians as well. Bro, you listen to listen to Pastor Ray Higgins and what he said about Hitler.
And that's how I know this dude know what he's talking about. Like Ray Hagan is the truth.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure this guy knows exactly.
You have been conditioned. You've been conditioned. You can't question the Holocaust in 18 countries. 18 countries.
Yeah, I just want to ask you, HT, because my first thing when I hear is automatic racism bash. So I just want to get a quick, if Sanchez allowed, a quick understanding of what you mean by that.
Real quick, like I just believe in, I believe stop the hate and separate. I think that all places should be homogenous. I believe that black folks and white folks can figure this out after the enemy of humanity is dealt with. And we will not go anywhere if we continue killing each other and just constantly talking crap about each other. I believe what Kanye did was pretty brave.
Perhaps this is the answer. Just blame the Jew for everything, because it's been going on since the beginning. So why stop now, right? North and South Korea can finally get along if they blame the Jew. But that could be a little tough because there's not really any Jews in that area. But let's look at the Russia-Ukraine war. All they have to do is have Kanye West visit them and remind them that it's the Jewish people's fault somehow that this whole thing is happening. You know, me just saying this sounds so ridiculous, and that is the point. It is ridiculous. I've seen another disturbing video where you had black supremacists praising the Holocaust, saying that they're glad that it happened, which is interesting. Because, at the same time, they deny that the Holocaust happened. And that's the thing. They always contradict themselves. Kanye West always is contradicting himself with these comments about the Jewish people. Okay? And, can you imagine if somebody praised or even denied that slavery ever happened in the United States? So why, I don't want to get into this, but I'm just going to say this. We tend to believe everything that went down in history. But when it comes down to the Holocaust, right, where you have Jewish people that were witnesses, fine, you don't want to trust the Jews. You have soldiers from the United States, England, the Soviet Union that are witnesses. You have pictures and video, whatever it is. You have all this evidence, but it's not good enough. Everything else happened, but not that. You see how strong Jew hatred is? Just have to point that out there.
Kanye said?
Both of them and Kyrie, what they got going on?
Well, I'll talk mainly about Kanye. I mean,
right, what about Kanye? Why you don't feel good about what you said?
And he's praising...
You're half Jewish.
Yes, and he's praising Hitler, saying the Nazis were cool, and saying the Holocaust didn't happen.
Yeah, no, we support Hitler.
Right. All of you?
Yeah. Because Hitler was killing your people, man. Hitler knew who the real Jews was. Right? Hitler wasn't oppressing my people. He was coming for your nuts. Holy right? And let me give you a wake-up call, man. You're not a Jew. You're not Jew, right? You're the seed of the devil, man. Right? These brothers on these platforms, Kanye and Kyrie, shaking things up. It's because it's a great awakening happening, right? The real Jews are back on the streets. And you so-called fake Jews who stole our identity are going to go into slavery, right? Because you're not a Jew, right?
Did the Holocaust happen?
It did happen, and we're glad that it happened.
Why does this happen? Why a group of like black supremacists that hate the Jewish people and want to destroy the Jewish people? I'm sure there's many, many different reasons, but I think maybe one of them can be the fact that they've been a victim for so long that they're tired of being the victim, okay? And now they find themselves being an opportunity, especially when trying to create an alliance with white supremacists, not to be the bullied any longer, but now to be the bully and to bully others. Because it feels good to be on the other side. It feels good not to be the victim. It's finally nice to see that the people that were supporting Kanye West this whole time and saying that his words were taken out of context woke up and realized that they've been misled by a fraud. They believed that he was genius and all the moves that he was doing, like, for example, by getting dropped by Adidas, was all part of the plan and that he's a genius. And they just realized finally that he crossed the line and they lost his mind. But why did it take so long? Again, there's probably many reasons, but I think one of them is because simply it just didn't affect them, so they didn't care. And I think that more people should read the poem First They Came, because First They Came basically explains that you don't do anything because it has nothing to do with you, right? So all these other groups are targeted, and you're not doing anything because it has nothing to do with you, but when finally they come after you, now there's nobody to have your back because you didn't do anything to help all the others. Now, I want to clear the air here real quick. A lot of people are saying, oh, but when Kanye was talking about the Jews, he didn't mean the average Jew. He means only the Jews on top. And it's okay to say that Jews run the media and they control, the banks and the weather and whatever, right? Whatever it is, they control everything. The big bad Jew. Last time, again, the last time this kind of thing was said, we saw the result of it, and that was the Holocaust. Fine. Again, maybe I need to give better examples because you've heard the Holocaust example many, many times. When COVID-19 broke out, right, it was nicknamed the Chinese virus. Why? Because it came from China. The problem with saying the Chinese virus, even though it came from China, is that people hear Chinese virus, so they think Chinese people are responsible. And there was violence enticed. People enticed violence against Chinese Americans or against Asian Americans. Now, let's look at 9/11. A group of extreme radicals did a terrible thing, and innocent Arab people were targeted because everybody kept saying the Arabs did 9/11, right? So that's wrong also. And I just want to say one last thing. When we look at World War II, notice we don't say the Germans did this and that. The Germans killed X amount of people. We say the Nazis. Why? Because there are innocent Germans that didn't want this to happen. Okay? And it's not fair to drag everybody into a mess and blame everybody for the mess that a group of people did, like the Nazis. Kanye West and people like him are cowards. Okay? They blame others for their problems. What a real person that's strong will blame themselves and will take responsibility for their own actions. For example, Kanye West blames the Jews for his porn addiction. Can you imagine that? Not wanting to take responsibility for his own actions. And that's another thing to think about, right? Why all this hatred is happening. And I think a lot of people suffer, whether it's people in the black supremacy groups or the white supremacy groups. They struggle and they need an answer for their struggle. They have to justify their struggle somehow. So it's just easy to blame the Jews because the Jews are the reason why they're poor and that, they're not doing well in life, whatever it is, and all their problems will be solved once they get rid of the Jew. But that's not the case. These people, instead of blaming others, they have to take responsibility for their own actions and to try to make moves, positive moves, to make their life better, instead of blaming somebody else, because blaming somebody else is the easy thing to do. But you know, there are people that blame others their entire life, and instead of flipping the script, and they never get anywhere.